Leeds International School, Primary 4, English Literature. Our topic is It's Not Fair That I Am Little. It's there in your textbook on page 6. Objectives of the lesson. After you learn this story, you can improve your reading skills. Secondly, you can learn about different characters. Then you will learn some new vocabulary. Finally, you will learn something important to your life. Before we discuss the story, let's have a look on the writer of the story. This is a story from Bill Mooney. Now you can see the picture of the writer of this book. First of all, I am going to introduce you the characters because it will help you to get a clear understanding when I am explaining the story to you. Now you can see who are the characters in the story. There are mainly 6 active characters in the story. Out of them, first character is Kitty. Kitty is the central character, and Kitty is a girl, a little girl. And then you can see Tom. Tom is a boy, a tall boy. Both Kitty and Tom are in the same class. Then we have Kitty's mother and Daniel. Daniel is Kitty's big brother. Next, you can see the character of playground helper, and finally the character of Susie. Susie is a fat girl in Kitty's school. Let's look at the story now. You can take out your textbook and can turn your book into page 6. Here in this slide you can see the lines from 1 to 8. First I am going to read it. Kitty was the smallest girl in her class. Usually she did not care. She could swim well and run as fast as most people will. Almost and once came first in the eggs and spoon race on sports day. So it did not matter being small. That was what Kitty thought. But one day something happened to make her change her mind. It was one of those days when nothing went right. So you can understand that this part of the story is about this girl Kitty. And I told you the main character in the story is Kitty. And this girl is the smallest girl is in the class. Even though she is small, she can do so many things. What are the things that she can do? She can swim well, can run fast. And also she won some places on the sports day. So she is not thinking about her height. She is performing well in her school activities. But what has happened? One day something happened to make her mind change. So let's see what has happened to Kitty. Here you can see the story from line 9 to 23. First of all, there was a new boy in Kitty's class. His name was Tom, and he was very, very tall. Kitty didn't like him very much because he called her shrimp. The whole class was working on a mural in paint and cut-out paper. And on this day, Kitty and Tom and 2 other children were chosen to do special extra work on it. So, you can see the next character is there in this paragraph. He is Tom. Tom is very, very tall. But Kitty doesn't like Tom. Why is that? Because Tom is using the term shrimp to call Kitty, so she doesn't like him. On that day, what they were doing, they were painting something. Let's look at the next paragraph. Kitty was very excited. She loved painting, especially when you could be really messy. That was why she wanted to paint the sky with lovely big fluffy clouds floating along. But each time she tried, Tom laughed at her. "You can't reach," he said. "You are too small." And he leaned over her head and did the bit she wanted to do. So now you can understand that Kitty loves painting. So she wants to paint these clouds floating along. It means you can see clouds in the sky. So she wants to paint something which is higher than her. So every time when she is trying to paint them, she can't reach to those things. So Tom is coming and laughing at her and telling, "You can't reach for those things. You are too small." But Tom is helping her to do those things. It means Tom is coloring them the things that she can't color. This is the last paragraph on page 6. At break, she found someone had put her jacket on one of the higher pegs she could not reach, and she wouldn't ask Tom or anyone to get it down. So she went outside without it and felt cold. Then the playground helper told her off for not wearing a coat. Now, during the break, she found that someone has kept her jacket in a higher peg. Do you know what is a peg? Yes, you can see this picture. It's a peg. We use a peg to hang things on. So she is very small, so she can't reach to that one, and she didn't ask help from Tom or any other one. She went to the playground without the jacket, and she felt very cold in the playground. Then who came to that is the playground helper came and told her off for not wearing a coat. So what has happened next? Let's see page 7. "I couldn't reach it," said Kitty in a small voice. "Oh, you are such a dear little thing," said the lady nicely. So the playground helper is a lady. So she said, what is the reason? Why is the reason for not wearing the coat? Then she also told, "You are a dear little thing." Kitty sighed. It really was not fair. Then it was the game's lesson. When the girls had to play netball, they were learning to stop each other getting the ball. You had to dodge quickly and jump very high. Kitty wasn't very good at that. Today she was worse than ever. She did not get hold of the ball once. All of the other girls had longer arms and legs, and it seemed easy for them. Afterwards, one of the girls said something that hurt Kitty very much. "No one will want you in their team, Kitty. You are too tiny." So, after that, they have started their games lesson. It was netball. And they were learning so many things. It means techniques. How to stop the ball and how to catch them quickly. So all the other children can do those things better than Kitty because they have long arms and long legs. Kitty couldn't do them properly. Then what happened? One of the girls in their team said, "No one will want you in their team. No one will take you to the team, Kitty, because you are too tiny." Let's look at page 8. Kitty was very quiet when she got home. Her mom noticed. At last Kitty broke into tears. "It's not fair that I'm little," she sobbed. Kitty told her mom everything. Mom nodded. "It isn't easy. I was small when I was a little girl, and you ask Daniel what they say to him in school." So after she come home, what happened? She started to cry because she was so upset. Then her mother noticed that, and she said she was very little when she was young, and she said to Kitty, "Go and ask from your brother Daniel what did they tell him when he was small." So surprised, Kitty went to find her big brother to ask him. He made a face. "They sometimes call me Shorty," he said, "but it's very friendly. It's very friendly, so I don't mind." "Are you too small too?" asked Kitty. "Yes, but I'd rather be me than the boy in our class who's so tall and thin they call him Stringy." So Daniel said his friends used to call him as Shorty, and also at the same time he said he didn't mind it because it's very friendly. "You see," said Mom, "most people have got something about themselves they would like to change. When you know that, it makes you feel better about yourself." Kitty thought about that and she made a plan. The next day at playtime, she made herself feel brave enough to go up to Tom when he was standing on his own. "Tom, can I ask you something?" she said. "What, Shrimp? If you had one wish, what would you change about yourself?" Then after that, Kitty thought about this thing, what her mother and brother said. Then she made a plan in the next day. When she go to school, she met his friend Tom, and she asked from him if he had one wish, what is the thing that he is going to change about himself. So what was Tom's reply? Let's see. The tall boy looked surprised. Then he went pink and whispered, "My hair! I hate my hair." Kitty looked at it. It was orangey brown. She thought it was rather nice. "At my old school they called me Carrots," he said, "and it wasn't fair. But don't you tell anyone, will you, Shrimp?" Kitty said she wouldn't. So Tom said he doesn't like his hair. What is the reason? Because in his previous school, his friends used to call him as Carrots. Why is that? Because his hair is orangey brown in color. But for Kitty, it's not ugly. It's nice. Then what happened? Then she found Susie, the big strong girl who had said Kitty was no good at netball, and asked her the same question. Susie frowned and answered quickly. "My size," she said, "because I feel like an elephant. I'd like to be smaller. I'd like to be like you." "Like me?" squeaked Kitty, amazed. Susie nodded. So, after Tom, she went to Susie's place. Susie is a strong and a big girl. So, Kitty asked the same question from Susie also. Her reply was that she doesn't like her size. Why is that? Because she feels like she's like an elephant. So she wants to change it. She wants to be smaller like Kitty. Kitty looked round the playground at all the children running around. Some tall, some small. Some fat, some thin. Some dark, some fair. Some shy, some bold. Some who could sing, some who could swim. Some dainty, some clumsy. We are all different, she said to herself, and I suppose that's fair. So finally, what did she do? She looked around the playground. After she looked around the playground, she can find different types of children. It means some children are very tall, some are very short, some children can run fast, some children can sing nicely, some children can dance, some are fair, some are bold. So she thought that she understood that all are different and it is fair than being same. So as little kids, you also can learn a lesson from this story. Even in your class also, you can find tall ones, small ones, short ones, and the ones who can swim, who can dance. So that is better than being same. Different is better than being same. I hope you all have understood the story and you can try these questions now. First question, who is the smallest girl in the class? Second one, who was the new boy came to Kitty's class? Next question, how did Tom call Kitty? Fourth question, what did a child do to Kitty's jacket during the break? Next one, what made Kitty to feel very sad on that day? Sixth question, who is Kitty's big brother? There are some more questions. Seventh one, what did Kitty ask from Tom the next day? Why did Tom hate his hair? Who is the big, strong girl in Kitty's class? Last question, find the meanings of the following words: pig, dodge, stringy, clumsy, bold, mirror. Thank you.